Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Everyone at the House of Northern Sports and around the world, it is the DOUG here for his divisional round picks. And yes, I am back from MagFest. Before we get to that, I did not watch the games from Wild Card Weekend as I was at MagFest, buying retro games and everything and all that. I did watch the replays of it Monday when I came home. To the Rams. Well, it looks like your hot streak ended up in smoke. You ended up like the Cowboys last year where you didn't do much.
Hi buddy, Ghost of Test rules.
Hello, Ghost of Test. The Saints, who got me my only win last week in the wild card, beat the Panthers. Panthers need to fix their offense. The Chiefs had the biggest choking until Georgia came along on Monday and said, hold my beer. As they choked a lead to the Titans, but like I just said, Georgia made it worse. And the Bills defensively did their job, but unfortunately, Bills offense could not. So the Falcons, Saints, Titans, and the Jaguars moved on. I am 1-3 in the wild card. That's not great at all. Going to the divisional round picks, these videos will be short from here on out. No real notes or anything to take care of. So about the first game, we got Falcons and Eagles. Now, funny thing is, the Eagles are not favored to win this game. I believe they have I think it's like a 6-point spread or something. They're favored by 6. Which I think at the start of the season, or at least halfway point, I would have said that is insane.
Eagles.
But Eagles do have some issues, particularly with the quarterback, as we've seen the last few games. The Eagles quarterback has not been well. Granted, Atlanta hasn't been well either. Do I trust either team here? Not really. I'm going to go with Atlanta, though. This is kind of my upset pick of the 4 games. I just feel if I'm going to lose one, it's probably this one just because it's a hard pick because Atlanta's been up and down. Eagles haven't looked good at all. And again, let me just point this out. I think I said it last week. The last team who was a number 1 seed who lost week 17 without getting any points was the 2008 Titans, I believe. And they actually got eliminated in their next game in the playoffs. Could that be the Eagles? We shall see. But it isn't Philly, so Philly should have the advantage, but I'm going to go with the overall better quarterback in this case. Speaking of quarterbacks, the next game, it is the New Orleans Saints on the road after getting a good win at home, traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Now, the Vikings are the favorite here, but should they really be the favorites? I mean, defensively, I would say Minnesota's the better team, but offensively, Saints still got Drew Brees, and that is what this pick comes down to. Why did you say Eagles again, Andrew? Anyway, the Vikings here, if you're picking the Vikings, you're going with the defense. If you're picking the Saints, you're going with the quarterback.
Saints.
Alright, goes to test Saints. I'm going with the Saints as well. I think in this situation, defense does win you championships. I just feel this is going to be a shootout, so to speak, and I'm going to trust Drew Brees a hell of a lot more than I'm going to trust Case Keenum. Keenum has had a good year this year. I tip my hat to him. But I think the Vikings defense is good, but Drew Brees is better. He's been here before. He's been to the top of the mountain. And remember, all the pressure's on Minnesota because they want to be the first team to host the Super Bowl. Well, we'll see if it happens. Going to the AFC now. By the way, happy Wednesday, everybody. It is the Tennessee Titans after getting a shocking win over the Chiefs, making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Take on the Patriots. Now, Patriots have had some inner turmoil the last few weeks. Titans could, hypothetically, capture that and use it to their advantage. We shall see. But I'm taking the Patriots here. It's my lock of the week. I think even with all the turmoil going on in New England, if you even believe it, I think they're just using it to make sure no one's really watching what the fuck they're doing. Excuse me, fog in my throat. I just put the Patriots overall the better team.
Pats.
And Patriots should win this one. Again, my lock of the week. I think they're favored by like 13.5 points. And Ghost of Test has the Patriots as well. the last game, and oh boy, this game. Now, we had this game earlier this year, and remember, I had the Steelers winning this game. Steelers disappointed me back then and lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's now a second chance for the Steelers to redeem themselves in this situation. Now, Steelers have probably the offensive advantage, but as we saw this past week, Jacksonville's defense is damn good. They won that game for
Steelers,
them.
if we lose, I'm crying.
And Ghost of Test says Steelers, and if the Steelers lose, he is crying. And anybody remembers my history with the Steelers know one or two things happens. If I pick the Steelers to win, about 75% of the time they lose. So, basing it on that, and seeing what Jacksonville did against the Bills, showing that defense does win you championships. I'm sure someone's going to call me out and say, "You're bullshitting here. Why are you doing this?" I'm taking the Jaguars on the road to beat Pittsburgh. I remember what they did against the Steelers. I think it showed everybody what the Jaguars' defenses did. Overall, this year, you can make the case that them and the Vikings had the two best defenses left in the playoffs right now. What gives me a little bit more hope with the Jaguars is the running game. I think that's a little better. Now, of course, the Steelers do have the better quarterback and the better running game. But I just feel the defense in this situation will win out. And I feel personally that the Steelers kind of, all the pressure's on them.
Jags are a surprise team.
Andrew also agrees with me there on the Jags. At least being the surprise team, he's taking Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's in trouble here because if they lose this game, this might be the last time they can make the playoffs because Big Ben's getting old. We know there's been some issues with Bell and a few other things. We shall see. So, my picks are as followed. Falcons, Saints, Patriots, and the Jaguars all move on to their respective title games. I will say this, I don't care if it's the Jaguars, and I don't care if it's the Steelers. Just make sure it's not the damn Patriots who win the AFC. So I'm skipping the Super Bowl again. Anyway, let me know what you think of my picks. Do you agree or disagree? And if your team is still in the playoffs, good luck. If they're not, well, come join me at the bar. We got good beer and good food. Till next time, everybody, good luck and enjoy.